Let's take a look at the melody to Just a Closer Walk with Thee in the key of G. In this lesson, I kept a lot of the melody on the third string of the Dobro. I did that for teaching purposes to try to push some of you to maybe go in different areas of the neck, go up the neck more while playing over a G chord, as opposed to just staying in the open position. That being said, you can play the song in the open position and it will be just fine and sound great. I encourage you to do both. As you heard in the clip before, I do a very simple variation of the melody, or just the basic melody. And then I kind of add some rolls and slides and some in-between notes to the melody in the second variation. Along the way in the lesson, I'm always kind of pointing out what chord we're playing over. Occasionally I'm pointing out how that melody note is relating to the chord that you're playing over. And also we run into a diminished chord in this lesson, and I kind of go over a brief description of what a diminished chord is, or basically a trick that you can kind of do on Dobro to make it sound like you're playing a diminished chord, even if we can't get all the notes at once. If you are interested in the whole lesson, go ahead and click on the link in the description below to access it. You can also subscribe to my email list to get updates when new lessons are added. There's a link in the video description below for that too. Thank you. Here are measures 1 through 4 played slowly. So in the single note kind of basic melody version, for a lot of the notes I'm going to be using the thumb. So for this whole first measure, I'm just hitting all those notes which are on the third string. I'm just hitting those with my thumb. So it's going to start off on the 7th fret of the third string. I could have easily played that note kind of down here in the open position. I'm kind of choosing just in this lesson to kind of just move it to the third string, kind of get ourselves up the neck to begin with, and kind of get out of that open position. That being said, you could actually easily learn this song in the open position and get by very nicely. So again, it's going to start on the 7th fret of the third string in this version. That's going to ring out for 3 beats, and then that last note of measure 1, I'm going to go up to that 8th fret, and that's kind of a passing note up to the 9th fret of the third string, which is the first note of the second measure. Then after I hit that 9th fret, I'm going to do a big slide down to that 4th fret of the third string. And then from that 4th fret, I'm going to do a quick slide up to that 7th fret and slide down to the 6th fret, which is a passing tone to the 5th fret of the third string, which is in measure 3. Right, so the first 2 measures are over a G chord. When we hit that 5th note of the third string, we're at a D7 chord, and that particular note is a C note, and in relationship to D, that is the flatted 7th. Kind of hear that D7 chord in there. Here are measures 5 through 8 played slowly. So in measure 5, that first note is going to be a quick slide on that first string from the 5th fret to the 7th fret. I'm hitting that with my middle finger. Again, we're still over the D7 chord, so we're getting into that 7th fret of the dobro, which is our D chord. So a lot of our melody for this portion of the song is going to be kind of based around that 7th fret in this version. And then the last beat of measure 5, I'm going to go to the 8th fret of that 2nd string. I only have the bar touching that one note. I'm not laying my bar across in this case. I got it lifted up off the strings. It's going to be on the 8th fret of the 2nd string. I'm going to hit that with my index. Slide down to the 7th fret. Right, that brings us to measure 6 there. That's the first note of measure 6. And the second note of that measure, we're going to hit the 7th fret of the 3rd string. I hit that with my thumb, followed by the 5th fret of the 2nd string, my index, 5th fret of the 1st string, my middle. And then that last note, or first note of measure 7, I'm going to slide from that 5th fret to the 7th fret of the 3rd string to a quick slide. Hit that with my thumb. So I'll go ahead and play measures 5 through 8 a couple more times here. And then measure 7, when we get back to that 7th fret of the 3rd string, we're back to the G chord in the progression.